change in plans. Huh. Somebody done run over the gate over there. I was gonna go to the American River access point off of Sunrise. I left late this morning. Seems to keep happening. This kind of stuff requires me to leave early if I want true success in wildlife, anything. Because shit happens early for them. The animals, that is. So now I'm going to Mather Regional Park / Lake. And this place is usually polluted with fishermen, but at least they're quiet, and similarly, they want to be left alone to do their thing. I hope you enjoy this. I will. That over there is the lake. And as you can see, there are already cars in the parking lot. All right, first things first, second things second. We're gonna put this parking pass right here so we don't get a ticket, which would cost about, I think, like, at this point, probably like 80 bucks. State's got to make its money, or the city in this case. All right, it is supposed to rain today. It's kind of cold right now. I didn't bring my jacket, like a fool. Welcome to Mather Lake. Let's go over this, okay? See if you can see that. Prior to the arrival of Europeans in the late 1700s, this area was an open prairie where roaming herds of elk and deer grazed on perennial grasses. By the late 1800s, nearly all of the grasslands had been divided up into large cattle ranches and some smaller farms. Named for Carl Mather, a World War I test pilot, Mather Field was established in 1918 during World War II. Mather Field was used as a training facility for pilots, navigators, bombardiers, never heard that word, and observers. From the 1950s through the 1980s, the primary mission of Mather Field was to provide training for Air Force staff. The end of the Cold War and military downsizing forced the closure of Mather Air Force Base in 1993. Now, fun fact, I was a military brat, and specifically the Air Force, and we lived at McClellan Air Force Base up the road. I'd say it's about 20 miles north, and I remember when things were kind of shutting down, we would have to go to Mather to use their hospital because they kept the hospital. So they kept some facilities on the military base open that military families could use, and but I remember back in the 90s when this base was closed and we were still using some parts of it. I never knew about this park when I lived here, never really accessed it, really had no reason, because I wasn't doing photography, wildlife, nature, none of that. I was just trying to survive this brain at the time. I'll read a little bit more for you. Let's see, Mather Lake was created when Air Force personnel constructed a dam across Morrison Creek in the 1950s. Morrison Creek is a primary source of water for Mather Lake. Rainfall and overland flow provide additional water. Morrison Creek is a seasonal stream carrying water only during the rainy months. Inflow to the lake stops when evaporation from the lake begins to increase. As a result, the lake could dry up during the dry season without additional water. In the past, pipelines from the gold mining operations and water pumped from the Folsom South Canal were utilized to keep the lake full in the summer. Sorry about my reading skills. I should probably go back to school. Since 1997, the lake has received a continuous flow of treated water from the wells located on the former Air Force Base. This supplemental water source provides for stable water levels in the summer and fall. The additional water is expected to be available until 2022. So here, obviously this stuff is faded. It's been here for a long time. The photos are by Jim Schubert. Hey Jim, thanks for the photos, man. This is back during film days, not digital. All right, let's read a little bit more because I'm sure you're interested. I am. Let's get educated. If you build it, they will come. Shortly after the dam was built, the wetland habitats in and around the lake began to take shape. The light, fluffy seeds of cattail and cottonwood drifted on the wind. That's poetic. Seeds of many wetland plants were carried to the newly formed lake and waters of Morrison Creek. Other plants came to Mather as seeds carried in the feathers, fur, and guts of birds and mammals. See, it's not just the plants blowing around in the wind, it's these birds. In time, the plants responded to Mather Lake's changing depths and varied side slopes, sorting themselves into a plant communities you see today. As trees, shrubs, and wetland plants colonized the lake and its shores, animals began to move in, taking advantage of the food and shelter provided by the vegetation. Mather Lake's thriving ecosystem remains vulnerable to outside disruptions, like dogs out in the protected areas. Yeah, people be walking their dogs out there. I don't know what they do. Let's see. As the area around Mather Lake is developed, the potential for toxic or nutrient-laden runoff carried in Morrison Creek increases. In addition, a long-term supplemental water supply must be secured in order to maintain the lake's stability. All right, we're almost done. Hang in there. Let's see. Gone fishing. The California Department of Fish and Game usually stocks the lake with 100 pounds of channel catfish. Oh, so they bring the fish here. That's interesting. The rainbow and trout. I don't know why I didn't think of that. I just thought somehow fish end up here. I don't know. Catfish stocking occurs between June and October. Trout stocking occurs between November and May. Gotta remember that. Several other fish species, including largemouth bass, bluegill, green sunfish, and green sunfish are present. Where'd it go? Oh, in the lake. These fish were introduced to the lake through past stocking operations or in water pumped from Folsom South Canal. Large numbers of mosquito fish live in the lake. They are successful in keeping the mosquito population in check, but may consume insects that perform important roles in the aquatic ecosystem. See, we're not the only ones who eat shit that's not good for us or people around us. Yesterday, today, and tomorrow. Last one, I promise. In the past, the Air Force often developed land and constructed projects like the dam at Mather Lake, but development may damage plant and animal communities. As the region's population continues to grow, Mather Regional Park becomes surrounded by development. The pressure on the park's natural resources will continue to increase. Sacramento County Regional Park is engaged in the responsible planning of reaction facilities while balancing the preservation of the park's many fragile habitats. There you go, folks. That's the first time I've ever read that sign, and I've been here several times. So today we're getting real education. Uh-oh. Some storm damage here. I don't know if I'm going to be able to make it around this thing. Ay, caramba. Let's see. Let's see what happens here. Going off the path. Off the path. Into the grass. Ooh, this is wild. Just walking on nature. Oh, thank God. I made it. Whew. Dangerous storm of 2024. Alright. Mather Lake regulations. Valid California fishing license required for those aged 16 years and older. Black bass, bag limit 5-point size limit. I don't know how to read that. 12-inch minimum trout, bag 5, no size limit. Catfish, no bag or size limit. No live bait minnows. And please don't litter. There's a turkey vulture. In one of my recent Instagram posts, I encountered a female osprey that's for some reason during the winter is staying here, and it was about to rain and she was just perched up on a branch fairly low to the ground. All things considered, there's usually a lot of people here. Well, not a lot, but there's people here, and you know, she's not stupid. I just saw a bunny rabbit. Oh, that's got to be good walk. I bumped into a raccoon here. He was just walking back home. I was just walking through. We both looked at each other like, I didn't think to grab my camera. But, you know, something I have to teach myself is to just pause and appreciate the photographic moment that I'm in, that nature is taking a picture of. Me bumping into a raccoon. I mean, it's kind of weird, but it's amazing. And I don't want to take it for granted, so that's why I'm thinking out loud. Well, naturally, a lot of the dead branches from these trees have polluted the ground, but it's not a bad thing. 'Tis nature doing her work. Is that a squirrel? No. It's just tree fuzz blowing in the wind. So typically when I come here, unless I'm directed by some special sighting that I see, and then that sort of takes my focus, I walk this trail that you see right here, and just go until I'm inspired to either pull over and, you know, by the lake over here, I'll go between the trees and just chill and do some videos, whatever. I was thinking of bringing my hunting blind, but I chose not to because I'm already carrying a shit ton of stuff. That's the thing about making these videos. Man, it's a lot of work. The full production. Or you should see what I'm seeing. Fallen tree. Hopefully nothing falls on me. It's not too windy, so we should be okay. As you can see, the Canadian geese are a loud neighbor. They're like that neighbor that drives through your neighborhood with their bass all the way up, and it's so profound in their vehicle that it shakes the pictures on your walls. I could only hope and dream to be that cool one day. Alright, so as it turns out, the Nikon Z6 II, the battery doesn't last for shit when you're trying to record videos. I mean, it literally shut down. It was like, nope, you better charge that battery. You ain't getting shit. So we're gonna do some of this from the phone. Hope you don't mind. Alright, so okay, now I'm walking across a field that spans from the south bank of the lake on over to the golf course next door. And man, is it exciting. There's a lot going on out here. Like just up the road there is the South African chainsaw bird. Sounds just like a chainsaw cutting trees down. Give it a listen. Amazing. I don't think I'll ever capture a picture of that because it doesn't exist, just annoying tree cutting sounds because of the storm. Currently, I am standing with my back to the golf course, facing the lake, and there's really not a lot going on, but let me be honest with you, trying to film a video and carry all this equipment and shoot wildlife for the purpose of shooting wildlife is very challenging. Very challenging. Much respect to those that have these YouTube channels and really keep up with it. It has got to be a full-time job, and you got to be in some decent shape, because number one thing I'm realizing out here is I got to get in better shape if I'm gonna do this. But anyhow, I think we're gonna take a little drive to the other part of Mather Lake that I think is maybe underappreciated. I mean, there's not a lot of action out there either, but I don't know, it's one of my favorite roads in this area. Okay, we're back in the vehicle and we're back in action with the Z6 II. Put a fresh battery in. I just didn't carry enough with me when I left because I'm new at using this thing for the purpose of using it for this. Anyways, I'm gonna take you to a road that is known in that direction as Zinfandel. You get up here, I believe it's still Zinfandel, but it's no longer paved. It is a dirt road. It's not very pleasant to drive on very fast. What's fun to do is to sit there and you'll see people think this road stays paved and they drive onto the dirt, and it literally, they just hit the bumps, you know, going 50 miles an hour or whatever. That's a lot of fun. Maybe we'll do that one day. See, if you don't slow down, you miss this sign, and then all of a sudden, boom, it ends. And boom, 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 boom. Well, I mean, this is the extent of it. Every once in a while, you'll see hawks out here, and here, come inside, it's cold out there. Every once in a while you'll see different birds, species of birds out here. I did see coyotes walk across the far end of the field on that side a couple years back, but this field eventually caught on fire and it was burnt to a crisp and everything left. It was just desolate. And everything's kind of growing back now because of all the water that we're getting in Sacramento. I believe we're out of the drought. I think we've been out of the drought since last winter, but I don't do enough research. You know, that's the thing. If you come to this channel to try and gather useful information outside of the stuff I read from the billboards, you're SOL, buddy. All right, that's it. That's Mather Lake in a nutshell. Mather Regional Park. I hope you enjoyed the visit today. If you like these videos and all this content, please subscribe, hit the notification button, and I mean, you know the script, so I appreciate your support. I'm sorry I'm not high energy or even good looking, but I do appreciate you humoring me. Good luck out there.